Hello, Naya's Family Collective. This is Sarah, and we're going to do some astrology. It is Wednesday, the 24th. So I've already got a couple of phone calls about this eclipse that's coming up January 31st. It's a full moon. It's called a total lunar eclipse. It's 27 degrees Capricorn. 2 weeks later, we're going to have a solar eclipse, and that degree will be in Leo, and maybe I'll give you an update. I just wanted to do something casual. I'm in my jammies, and I think you need to see Miss Sophie right here. You guys have met Sophie before. Our other cats are just about the house, but she loves to hear me talk astrology. And I've been talking to a couple people within the collective about astrology, and I need to get with Maria. Is Maria M. Grace? She's another Pisces like me, but I've just been busy. Stuff been going on. I got a golf tournament for the SPCA I'm planning. Anyway, people can get a little tired before eclipses. It's in 6 days, so it's really going to affect. This one will affect Earth signs. Could even affect Leo, because that's the polarity. It's going to be the polarity on this one. Leo. You know, the polarity is Aquarius, but it's just the way this one hits. Anyway, I've already had some people call me I'm in my jammies. A little bit worried because sometimes this is called a blood moon. That is just because in this instance, when the Earth gets between the sun and the moon and the eclipse starts, it casts a shadow on the moon and it makes it a little red. It's nothing, these biblical prophecies people talk about and stuff like that. Nah. Don't let this stuff scare you. Don't read anything negative. I mean, it may be an intense time for some, but that's because the vibration's higher, and it's meant to move you off your mark. If you're stuck on something, it's meant to bring you a new lesson. And sometimes you might not know it right away. It may take up to months. But just to give you, for instance, how much eclipses can change your life is many years ago, I had an eclipse on my Venus. Where are my eyes? Where do you look in these things? And I remember thinking, well, that's interesting. Hope that's a good omen. I was single. And I just filed it away for later. Well, later that year, my husband, current husband, showed up. So, love, Venus. My Venus is in my first house, so it was very personal. And it was very awesome. But, you know, you guys can ask me some questions. If you want to. Eclipses have been happening since the Earth, Moon, Sun, solar system formed. It's nothing to get rattled about. It's just like, you know, Mercury retrograde. You know, it does affect us humans because we're all part of the vibratory system, you know, and each of the planets have a consciousness, and whoever was smart enough, ancient man and cavemans wrote on the cave walls, you know, pictures of the planets and everything. Whoever was smart enough to figure out astrology and knew that we had the archetypes within us, and figured out the timestamp of our spiritual DNA. I've been studying it for so long, I don't even know how to talk about it coherently. I just kind of intuitively do it. But, and every time we do have a full moon, it's in a different sign, which affects your house, your chart, just on a monthly basis. But, you know, they just help us raise our consciousness and learn new lessons, and maybe even in some instances detach and disown from other people's stuff or craziness, you know. And one thing I don't really care for on YouTube with this other astrologers, or just hear other people talk about it, is they don't like this, or you've heard me say this, they don't like this or that sign. Crazy. The zodiac chart has 12 houses, and you have all the planets somewhere in your chart, and you have all those 12 pieces of the pie in you somewhere in some configuration. So saying saying you don't like another sign or something like that is just projection. It's something within you need to learn. Another big deal that's been going on lately is Saturn recently, I think it was in December, went into Capricorn. It does that about every 28, 30 years. This time for me, it's a big deal because it's at the top of my chart. So that's a lot about retirement and being the teacher myself. And, I've been doing these projects in the outside world, but on a volunteer basis. Still stresses me out because I am the chairperson for our SPCA golf tournament. And we really need to raise money because of Hurricane Harvey. And we just opened up our shelter. It was closed for like 5 months. Okay, so those of you with rising signs of Capricorn or sun signs or moon signs, or if you're a life path of 4 or 22, you can add up your life path, just add up your month and day and year like an old-fashioned addition problem, and add up those numbers all the way across like reductionism and see what number you are, and that's your life path. And thank goodness in this day and age you can study anything on the internet, so you can just look up numerology or life path. But at the very least, people should know, of course, your sun sign, and really read it from a good astrology site, because there's separate books on each sign because they're an archetype and there's a continuum within each sign. And I am not the same Pisces now as an older person as I was, say, at age 20. You're going to grow and mature, right? And then your moon sign is your emotions, the women in your life, your mother. Sometimes they say it's your former life. Your moon is what you need, your emotional needs. And they say it's more when you're younger. And then when you get older and you get sick or tired or whatever, you fall back maybe to your moon sign because you have these needs to feel comfortable and safe. Your sun sign is a little bit how you physically exhibit. It's your personality, it's your ego, it's the way you choose to express yourself in the world. But there's only 12 right now zodiac signs. Someday maybe we'll incorporate more of the 13th. I forgot that. It's some kind of ossificus, really hard for me to pronounce, obviously, because everything expands and grows and evolves. And Naya said in the 5th dimension that the solar system will be a little bit different. But I don't know. I think that's way cool. But, if you knew your moon sign, your emotions, and your sun sign, a little bit how you control your ego, and then the aspects between them, how they interact, and then your rising sign is what you assigned yourself to grow into spiritually, and just a whole bunch of other stuff about that. But like I said, just find a good site. I always tell people about www.astro.com that you can register free and just read up on. Just start there. It's a bunch of interactive places on there. Learn about your number, your life path. And within just those 4 things, of course there's tons more, guys, but it takes a long time just to learn those 4 things. And within that, you can just study a lot about yourself. I mean, when I was in my 20s, I took some night school in astrology where couldn't even work it out on computers. It was so slow. And I was really embarrassed of my birth chart because it didn't show a lot of good traits, and I was very embarrassed. But that's what I came into this earth with to work on. But I had a lot of talents to work on too. I don't think you need to know astrology to go to the fifth dimension or anything like that, but it sure helps in life because we have all kinds of wounding, right? Every human being has woundings, and you want to learn how to, if you have the same lesson happening to you over and over and over, you're either going to have to, or either should, go to a psychologist, psychotherapy, find out why you're attracting the same lesson, or just learn astrology or some other metaphysical things. Astrology is my thing. But, it's made for a more peaceful life after decades of a very tumultuous life, too. I mean, I have traumatic stories like everybody else, but we're not going to meet anybody who doesn't. They do say that there's some people who've chosen very easy lives, maybe just to dip their foot in the water, maybe a first life or something. I haven't met anybody, though, that's ever had a really easy or charmed life. Nope. I haven't. But so at the age I am now and the things that I've been through, I'm just here more to help and to teach and to say positive things. When people call me and they're scared about something they heard, or some prediction or just some scary thing, I just say, don't listen to that stuff. Just filter it out. Isn't life frustrating enough? And, if an asteroid hits us and we're dead in less than a millisecond, who cares? You're back into the greater consciousness. And I mean, everything that Naya says about the fifth dimension and other NDEs I've heard of, I'm like, oh, wow, would that be fun? And then it's going to happen anyway. And, when I have my lucid dreams and I see real pretty places, I mean, that's pretty fun. More and more, I used to be so sensitive and so frightened of myself and so upset if just things didn't go wrong, but just had to learn to take big doses of chill pills. But I just want to be more interactive with you when I have time, because I know there's long periods of time that I'm just not here. I mean, I'm just out in the real world, and that's hard for me. This is easier than being out in the real world. Yeah. Okay, this is 12 minutes. This is enough for now. But I just wanted to say hi. Happy eclipse. Study eclipses. Find your chart. Erect a chart. You don't need an astrologer. You can go to www.astro.com. See where 27 degrees Capricorn is. And... just keep studying. And I'm not really for the group chats, y'all. That's just too confusing for me. But me and G-Man, or me and G-Man and another person, like if Maria and I get together, which I hope we do soon, she seems like a really, really cool lady. Cosmic hugs. Bye for now. Mwah.